An analogous situation can be seen in the profound isolation in the LSD-25 analysis. The foregoing descriptions of external screens and external projection methods emphasize the relationship between the computer and the external reality. It also emphasized that the computer was using certain parts of itself for transformations and projections of data from memory into systems stimulated by energies coming from the external world. It was pointed out that such projections were easier to do than when these systems were not excited by energies coming from the outside world. The major reason for failure to be able to project on the blank screens or to use the apparatus unexcited by energies coming from the outside world is too great fear of what lies underneath below the levels of awareness in the solitudinous situation. Once a large number of these fears have been analyzed and shown to be peculiarly childlike and childish, one can proceed to the next stage of LSD-25 and isolation combined for analysis. Okay, he's talking about screens in a slightly different way here. What's going on?
Well, let's first of all start with the childlike and childish idea here. Okay, that's not an accusation. That's a stone cold
Right.
fact.
Right. He's
Okay,
not diminishing you. He's explaining to you
right.
where it's coming from and what it looks like.
That's right. Okay, so here's the thing. We have all these fears that are down below the level of awareness. Um, uh, George Lopez has a shtick that he does where he talks about being a kid and going by the dark room, because the kukui is in the dark room, and you don't want to meet the kukui face to face, and so
Okay.
you run by the door and you reach in and you turn on the switch real quick so that you can so you get by before
So
the
it's not
kukui gets out
dark.
and grabs you. It's
Right.
not dark. That's right. Okay. Well, that that fear of the dark is an analogy, and it may be just exactly, maybe not even an analogy, but that fear of the dark is that disembodied fear that we all carry around, and there's
Yeah.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Am I big enough? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Do I have enough value? Does Dad really love me? Would Mom really approve of me? What would happen if I do? Like, what would happen if I don't? All those kinds of things, and it's like, don't tell me that you're over them all. You're not. They were written,
Right.
they're left there, etc.
Right.
Unless you pulled them up and looked at them and taken them apart, ironed them all out, and said, "Oh my God, this was a stupid thing." No wonder they were talking to me about that then. I didn't know about it then, and
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Those fears are still there, and they're operational.
Yep.
Now, if you just let them come up and you say, "Oh, I'm afraid of that," you're gonna make it worse. Okay,
Yep.
whether you're a spider phobe or
Mhm.
whatever your fear happens to be. Okay,
Public
or
speaking,
your
meeting
fears.
girls, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. I'm embarrassed because of this. What happens if I make a mistake when I learn a new language?
What
All,
about
all
sales
kinds of crazy
folks
shit.
that are afraid to ask for
Oh,
money?
oh,
or, or,
absolutely.
or,
Because
or
because
value, right?
they because they've been told from the time they were knee high to a grasshopper, no, we don't have enough money to buy you a piece of chewing gum,
Right. Right.
which is code for, no, you're not going to spend them all. You're not going to spend all day chewing gum and rot your teeth out. That's what it's code for. But we say what parents say is, no, I don't have the money.
Right.
Okay, and so now here's a guy trying to sell something, but he's afraid that the guy he's talking to doesn't have the money,
Yeah.
or he's afraid that he's got to ask his partner, which means that he's
Yeah.
got to ask mom for the money.
Right.
That's code for to somebody that he didn't have the money. His partner was in Cancun with Ted Cruz, whatever. It just he wasn't
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so these are things that we carry with us, and we can't see them because it's what we think with.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we can get to a place where we can say, okay, why do I do that? And we go and say to mom, Mom, did we really not have the money, or did you just not want me to rot my teeth out?
Right.
Then we can carry mom and dad as analysis along with us. but the outside world just is too scary because of what's lying underneath what we can be aware of. And so when we get in the tank, we start uncovering those things. And if we're careful about uncovering them, and if we're studious about uncovering them, we can deal with them. We can untie them, as it were.
It's really a great
we can
example.
bring them out flat.
You just gave just even the gum example is a great example. How, you know, a child learned something very different than what the adult was actually trying to communicate to them, right? So as an adult, you can go back and you say, well, of course they didn't actually think my teeth were going to rot out. I mean, they didn't actually think I didn't have money for that. They didn't want me chewing on gum 10 hours a day because my teeth were going to rot out.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. But you know, you can't really see that because it's hidden down there below the threshold of awareness. You know, way below the threshold of awareness. It's back when you were 3 years old, right?
Right.
When's the last time you can remember anything from 3 years old? You pull that up to consciousness right now. It's hard to do. It can be done, but it's hard.
Right.
It requires work, and you got to sometimes you got to go back to those memories because they're really nebulous. And you got to go back to them over and over and over again to find them and say, the hell was that thing that happened? It was important, but what was it?
Yeah.
What was going on then?
Right.
What actually took place at that I still remember that thing. Wow, what was that thing?
So you know,
And
John,
so
when go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like, you know, when people get uncomfortable, right, and they don't want to go to these spaces in their mind. Like for me personally, well, the first time I really saw that happen to myself, I realized what it meant. It was a goddamn road sign that with neon lights that said, "Come here, please. We need to look at this, please." Right? Like, because if you don't think about it that way, so that was me changing the emotional charge on the uncomfortable things that I found. Right? Instead of going, "Oh, no, I'm not going to go there," I said, "Oh, that's where I need to go."
Right.
And that's all it took for me. And then boom, off and running.
It doesn't usually take anything very particularly profound for us to understand these things.
Right.
It's that it happens to be profound simply because we say, "Oh,
Exactly.
I've been a stupid fuck, haven't I? I've been a dummy. Yeah, I didn't think I was a dummy, but yeah, I was.
I was.
That was me being a dummy, sure enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're want to do that, right? We want everybody to know how wonderful we are. I can't admit that I've been a dummy. You know, why
Right.
not? You've been a dummy.
Why not?
No,
Come
I
on.
haven't. I have never been a dummy. How dare you call me a dummy? You're insulting me. Well, I'm sorry, but that sounds pretty dumb to me.
Would have been my response back in the day for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard that response a few times, not just from you either, dude. From a lot of people.
From a lot of people, yes.
Yeah.
The Program Theory on-demand workshop videos will be available for purchase in our store soon. Follow us on Facebook at Forging Agreement for workshop release date announcements. Links in the description below. Before you go, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to stay up to date on all the new videos.